Okay, so hi, my name is Aaliyah Brooks, and I'm a first year student at New York University, Stern, studying entrepreneurship and management of organizations. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Martin Kabadik. I am a sophomore at Loyola Marymount University. I am studying entrepreneurship and accounting.
So the first question is, how did you pick your current college?
Oh, yeah. So when I was in high school, I was really into team building, working on projects, and just making something from your mind into a reality. So like a lot of creative stuff. So I was looking into entrepreneurship because I thought it was a really cool idea. And I went on and looked online, because I know not every school had an entrepreneurship program. So I looked at the schools and looked at the ranking system. And I remember looking on a website, and I would I listed all the schools that was in a city because I knew I wanted to be in a city. And LMU came up, Syracuse came up, and University of San Francisco came up. So I applied to all of those. And then Los Angeles just had this very big attraction to me. I'm a very big, all my friends were dancers in high school. I was a dancer in high school. So I had this very big connection to LA culture. It's so different. And also it was a little bit close to home. So, or not too close to home, but it was a good distance from home in that sense. So yeah.
Cool. What kind of dance did you do?
Oh yeah. So I never took a crew dance like most of my friends did, but I studied dance freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. And it would just vary. It was kind of like an introductory to dance class. So we learned a lot of the most popular ones, obviously hip hop, but we would work on things like ballet, jazz, tap dance, modern, which was one of my favorites. And we dabbled in hip hop a lot too. I started in the first kind of introductory class, and then I auditioned for the more advanced class, and then I got in my sophomore year, and I stuck through it since senior year, and met a lot of my friends there. My teacher became a mentor for me, and had a really good connection with such a great community.
Cool. Have you always gone to Loyola, or did you transfer?
I came to Loyola Marymount University as a freshman. So yeah, okay. I've always been here. Yeah.
Cool. And is there a career center that helps with resumes or career advice? Sorry.
Yeah, so no worries. We do have a career professional development here on campus. As a freshman, I used to go there a lot. They you schedule an appointment with them online. They have different representatives per major. So it's really nice because it's kind of cultivated towards your if you're a business person, your business program, your curriculum. We also have students helping out in the professional development department. So I know I just had some friends who are accounting majors that they would get advice from other students that are juniors, seniors, went through these recruitment programs, and they would help out students as well. So there's a lot of that mentor-mentee system around here. And from my experience, I go there and the first meeting would be looking at your resume, fixing your resume. They'll go down to the things like your LinkedIn profile and kind of check that out and see, is it up to date? Is it a good format? And they really provide the resources that we at least need to present ourselves as students to other companies. And then the nice thing too is they work well with connecting you to these other companies.
Cool.
Yeah.
What resources helped you to pick your major or helped with career exploration, or even helped you to choose your college that you're currently going to?
So I think, at least from what my entrepreneurship and accounting background is, I think that the more I went around campus and met the people, kind of included myself in different programs and groups, that really shaped my decision in I wanted to add on accounting on top of entrepreneurship. So I am an e-board member for the Entrepreneurship Society on campus. So that really gets me connected to a lot of entrepreneurship department heads, professors. And since we're in the Silicon Beach area, it's really nice because there's a lot of startup culture here, a lot of companies nearby. And as an e-board member on Entrepreneurship Society, we get the opportunity to connect with these entrepreneurship alumni, go to these events that the department holds, and like really get off campus and like connect with spaces around here. As for accounting, I actually just recently joined the accounting society as well. And they have their own kind of connections to like accounting firms and like alumni. And so it's very, very similar resources. But in terms of it having it connect to like my major and like how it made me make my decision to what major I wanted to be, I think a lot of the classes really helped. Being in Loyola Marymount, it's really nice because our class size is maybe 20, 25 students per class. So it really is, you can really get kind of a feeling of like what the occupation entails just by your professors and talking to them. A lot of students go talk to these professors outside of the classroom and go to their office hours, ask for advice, or even just to not necessarily hang out, but to connect with our professors. And it comes to the point where they know your names, they know like they have a certain connection with their students, so that it on the long run it helps as a resource, and they're always there for us. So
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure with like doing marketing society, accounting society, and an entrepreneurship side, that helps like in terms of finding mentors and just learning more about different fields. And
yeah,
also,
totally.
so do you have any do you know about any associations? Are you involved in any?
So I do know about professional associations quite simply because I'm interning with Q Career. So but prior to that, my freshman year, I had no idea what it was. It was explained to me, and like from my understanding, it was kind of like the organizations we have around schools, but it is scaled up to a larger scale where it's applying more to the occupation and stuff like that. So I got really interested in joining a professional association, but I haven't had the opportunity to really sign up for one just because I have a lot of commitments around school and time and yeah, just that. So yeah, as a student, no, I haven't had I'm not in a professional association, but I do know about them, and I think they're an amazing resource for students.
Is your major something that you've always wanted to go into and that you've been passionate about? Are you thinking about changing, or like what made you decide to do accounting and entrepreneurship? Because those are pretty different. Also, like in terms of startups that you're looking at, like what are you doing? Because I like want to major in entrepreneurship too, but I haven't taken any classes yet. So
Of course, yeah. Well, so I am a sophomore, and our entrepreneurship classes are actually supposed to be upper division classes. So usually, traditionally, you're starting your entrepreneurship classes as a junior, but I was luckily able to take it just this semester. So I'm actually taking my first entrepreneurship class right now. It's very good major, like very cool major. From my understanding too, it's not really like what you're doing inside the classroom, it's what you're doing outside. So in terms of like how I fell in love with entrepreneurship and everything, my freshman year, I would join, I keep mentioning clubs, but I was in this engineering entrepreneurship collaboration club called Seeds. And we came in, and the first thing that they would ask us was like, what, like, do you guys have ideas, or are you guys like here? And some students had ideas. Some students were there to meet other people with ideas, or they want to work on a project. But that really cultivated my love for entrepreneurship because I got to learn about what it's like to be an entrepreneurship major without being in the classroom setting. Things like the lean startup method, or like books that we can read, and minimal viable products, and things like how do you get a product out there without really knowing like is this going to work in the market? Is it not going to work in the market? Is this pretty new? And putting that into practice. So I remember the president would be asking us and telling us to do like certain challenges with our ideas, and it was up to us to follow through with it or not do it. And no penalty if we don't, but for those that did, we had really cool opportunities. So as an entrepreneurship major, like it was really cool. Like I actually got to go to a design firm where they allowed us to see, like, pitch our ideas, and then we kind of told them, like, would this be something possible to manufacture? And it was really cool because I found out that this specific design firm actually built Mophie cases, which were like the rechargeable batteries for iPhones, like
Oh, cool.
that you can those cases. So it's really like it's an interesting opportunity, and as an entrepreneur, that was really like what I used as my medium of learning, like how to get into the programs and everything. In terms of like, how do I know I love it or how do I know I don't love it? I definitely do love my major. Entrepreneurship is something I'm very passionate about. And that was the resource that helped me realize that was through my classes. One, so this class right now that I'm currently taking, my professor, he is a very knowledgeable guy. And he's very about like, you know, like you're going to work and you're going to build your ideas and an idea to fruition, right? But like he has a very big focus on make sure that the idea you're working on is something that you're maybe passionate about, what you're proud of, and what you're creating is going to be something that you'll be happy doing for the rest of your life. And that was just like, wow. And that's why I realized that entrepreneurship is it's very open-ended. Some people don't like that. Some people do, just because there is like that whole job security kind of thing.
Yeah.
Without worry, like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and like who's gonna hire me. But you know, like it is that entrepreneurial spirit. So if you want to study it, you are building skills that some companies will recognize. You know, like yes, there are soft skills, public speaking, marketing, product designing. Like that may not be hard skills that some companies are looking for, but what I realized working with a lot of startup companies is when you're interning for a startup company, a lot of times they ask you to do multiple things at once because they're a smaller company. They don't really have people specialize in one thing. So with those opportunities, entrepreneurship majors have that choice to really expand on their knowledge of business making and doing different things and finding like what part of the business that they can really do. It's not really a specified role. You're expanding yourself to different things. So that's entrepreneurship. And for accounting, it's very interesting because I started off as an entrepreneurship major and I added on accounting last semester. So it's spring semester here, and I added it on fall semester. And the reason why I added accounting was there was that kind of feeling of, you know, like I'm an entrepreneurship major and like I don't know if like will I be hired, and job security is like a worry because it's just like you can go anywhere with it and it's really great. But also like when I took my first accounting class, it was a financial accounting class. I found that I really liked it. My dad was an accountant. My sister is actually just graduating from USF as an accounting major.
Cool.
And so I kind of had that background of I know what accounting is. I don't think I'm really into it. That was my whole mentality as a freshman. I took my first accounting class and I was like, this is totally different than my first like impressions of accounting. And that was simply because I thought a lot of accounting was number crunching, figuring out like, are you by the book, you know? But what I did find out through the classes and like recent workshops that I've attended is that a lot of what accounting is helping you look at the past and find the number. Yeah, yes, you crunch your numbers. Yes, you figure all the tax stuff out, but those things will help you predict and help you make business decisions that may help you in the future. Like if you work at an accounting firm, you're working with multiple clients that are each starting their own business, or are making their own like business decisions and trying to maximize efficiency. Well, if you are working in the industry for a couple of years, you get exposure to like what works, what doesn't work, and sooner or later, you're gonna know, like if you're working with a startup, oh, they should file their taxes this certain way to look good to other investors. Yes, or you could say you can file it in a way that you're kind of like you're producing less or reporting less taxes, right? So that your company gets taxed less than it would originally intend to do. But then you're sacrificing like investors. So it's like techniques like these that you kind of figure out, like as a very entrepreneurial person, it's nice to know, and it's nice to know like, oh, I can read these numbers a specific way. I can manipulate it to make my company look a certain way. And it's also nice vice versa from an accounting point of view, because you get to learn so much from these different companies, and you'll just know how to run a business from the inside and out, at least through the numbers, not like the marketing and everything. But that's why I found out that they kind of go hand in hand. My situation, or my accounting and entrepreneurship, it's pretty unique, I guess, in the sense that I know a lot of people are like, accounting majors are usually like by the book and numbers and everything, where entrepreneurship majors are very like expressive. They want to like go to your face and like do all these things. Well, yes, that is the case, the personality, but it is also very complementary of each other. An entrepreneurship major or an entrepreneur who knows what the CFO is talking about, or who knows how to manipulate their numbers, can take advantage of that and make their company look really good. Whereas a accounting person with the entrepreneurial spirit can go out and talk to these companies with a very, like those soft skills, like the public speaking and like really getting to know their clients. They will benefit from that entrepreneurial background and startup and tech and everything. So it's very two different majors. One's looking into the past, one's looking into the future, and but they do complement each other very well. And I think that's why I love it so much.
Yeah, they really do. Those are like two really interesting, especially I'm also doing entrepreneurship, and I wanted to do entrepreneurship and the management of organizations, but I was like, maybe I should do marketing instead, just because like that's more concrete. Because when you manage an organization, it's like, I feel like it'll be better if I go into like a specific skill set with entrepreneurship. But it really sounds like, you like told a lot about your interest through like clubs and through meeting mentors and classes and stuff. So that's like a great way to be able to learn more about what you're interested in. Because when I first came in, I didn't know that I was so interested in like social justice and activism type of stuff. But I took a class and like gained a mentor through like my race and ethnicity class, and she was really able to like help direct my path in college. So I'm pretty excited about working with her in the future. But you were talking about internships also. Do you have any like lined up, or have you done any in the past, and how have they like helped you?
Yeah, so I'm currently, I am doing an on-campus job, so that kind of helps with like just keeping my money afloat, college student and everything, eating meals, bringing food to the table. I do a lot. Okay, so a lot of the clubs take up a lot of my time, just because e-board, or like I do specific positions. A lot of times I'm a photographer for different clubs. But in terms of internships, I do work with Q Career as kind of like my startup, like introductory and like exposure to different kind of like professionals in the field, and talking to them, and also like talking to Heather and seeing like what it's like to start a startup company. I am right now currently working towards an accounting firm, like not an internship yet, but it's programs that will help us figure out like the culture in a specific firm. And these programs are aimed to get you an internship later on in the future to kind of acquaint yourself as a sophomore.
Okay.
Yeah. So like most people say, like sophomore, junior years when you're kind of looking for internships, and that is true, especially if you're, I think if you're focusing on the entrepreneurship side, from my experience, like you can really push to get one like a freshman year. But I mean, like that was me. Like I got lucky. But sophomore year is when you kind of, as an accounting side, like that's when you start. Like, it's very more linear in the sense that like accounting firms are trying to recruit like students instead of the other kind of. It's an interesting dynamic where it's almost like you're trying to present yourself really well to these accounting firms, but at the same time, these accounting firms are trying to present themselves really well to you because they know that you are looking at multiple firms and are seeing the characteristics of those. Whereas other jobs, like if I'm applying to Sony or if I'm applying to Google or like a big company, it's not like you're just another number, but it's not like they have to impress you
Yeah.
for them to, you know what I mean? So it's that interesting dynamic right now. But most definitely I am looking for an internship as an accounting major at this moment of time. So
Cool.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what are your next steps like going in the future? Like what do you plan towards working towards like this semester, maybe during the summer, or just like in the future post graduation?
Yeah. So it's really interesting. Like I'm planning to over the summer. So my degree kind of major is really interesting because I'm not a double major in a sense where I get to fulfill like the same amount of units, but put them towards two different majors. I have to do a dual degree, which means that I am trying to get a bachelor's of science in accounting and a bachelor of the arts in entrepreneurship. So that raises the amount of units that I have to fulfill to get my undergraduate degree. So right now that sets me a little bit back, and to finish within my goal, which is 4 years, I have to sign up for more classes and catch up on units. So my plan right now is to take summer school during the summer, as well as right now I'm applying for the summer leadership programs for the accounting firms. That's kind of the program that they're doing. So those last like 2 to 3 days over the summer, but you have to apply them right now. So my plan is summer school and summer leadership programs. And then junior year, I'm really just gonna be studying and still like participating and putting an impact on the different clubs around campus that I am personally like doing, but also keeping that connections with the firms from the summer leadership programs and everything. Because then junior year, I'm gonna be looking for the internship for these big 4 companies.
Okay.
Then soon that summer, I plan to be doing my internship. And then senior year, I plan to just keep, that's when you're like applying for your career and jobs and everything. Very interesting dynamic because you're looking at school, but you're also kind of looking at your career. In terms of my schoolwork, it's summer school, and then I have to max out units to make sure I finish on time. So I'm maxing out units by units every semester up until, yeah. So it's not as interesting, but it's definitely like a lot to do.
Yeah, so it was great interviewing you. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Or, I mean, it really sounds like you like have everything really well together, and you know, like all your interests. Like I was like looking at your resume, how you're like into photography, but then you're also like operations assistant, but then also you're interested in entrepreneurship. Do you want to kind of talk about some of the clubs like that you're like participating in and how they've had an impact on like what you're finding out you want to do with your future? And also like just like what you do in your clubs, like.
Okay. Yeah, of course. So I got into Alpha Kappa Psi, which is a business fraternity on campus, my spring semester of freshman year, and that has given me the opportunity to build myself professionally as a brother, and also like figure out that brotherhood, and that's given me a lot of opportunities as well, just through alumni connections, and also, I mean, I said it before, they build my professionalism, like my resume, my cover letter, how to write one. So it's a really great opportunity for me to just expand myself and gain those connections. And I've actually, this kind of connects to the photography kind of stuff, gotten a couple of opportunities doing the product photography for different startup companies that my brothers are like working on or like are connected to. So I had the really awesome opportunity to do that. So I take pictures, edit them, and get paid for it, which is awesome. Something I love to do. And that's just kind of something on the side. But I'm running my position in there right now is pledge panel. So I'll be working a lot on like recruiting different different candidates to join the fraternity, and building my network through that. But also last semester, my position was historian. So my job was taking the pictures of events and helping out with that. So aside from AKSI, what really brought me to LMU too is their they call it API program. So it's the Asian Pacific Islanders kind of community within the campus. So different clubs like Hantao, Nikkei, Kyodai, Kasa, which is the Korean club, Isang Bangsa, the Filipino. So I was like in a bunch of those clubs, and those really helped me kind of get myself acquainted with a community around LMU. I got a lot of friends off of that connection and opportunities through that. It was a phenomenal experience. I really enjoyed it. I got to meet people from not like the film school, liberal arts school, and like from different communities, and we hang out like any other time. We hit each other up and just get dinner, and like it's an amazing like community. Then I'm also a part of Entrepreneurship Society. Entrepreneurship Society, I think I spoke about it before. It's nice. Like I get to meet a lot of like-minded people, business-minded people. Outside of that, outside the students, I get to meet people off campus, alumni. I get to meet the professors, and just off of Entrepreneurship Society alone, I've been given a lot of opportunities. I got to meet the CEO of Belkin, and the entrepreneurship program actually like has this dinner with a winner kind of thing. So he spoke to the school, and after he spoke, a few students are able to have dinner with him. Wow. So I got to, it was a really humbling and really cool experience, like sitting with a CEO of a company that like, that's just, you use their product like all your life. It was weird, but really cool. So that's kind of Entrepreneurship Society. I just joined Accounting Society because I just added the major. But just from Accounting Society alone, they're sending out emails on like interview workshops, resume workshops, and like, hey, this company is coming on campus. Why don't you guys go have donuts with them on Tuesday? Or like it's really funny, but you get to meet like a lot of recruiters and professionals who was in the occupation for years, and it's just more reassuring that it's like, this is a cool occupation, really cool. So that's Accounting Society. And I was a former member of Radix, which is a dance crew on campus. But I had to stop just because my classes were just taking so much of my time. But that was an amazing opportunity to meet people who like entrepreneurship accounting. It's like-minded people, but it's people that like to do the hobby that I love to do. And you do things like you create with them, you learn with them, and perform. So you really build that family connection through that. And I'm trying to think, there are other things. Yeah.
Like artwork and cableware, and like those are your personal projects, like what you did. Yeah. Like that was pretty cool. Startup weekend. Like I see that you won second place. That's What were those about, and like how did you create them? Like did you get mentors through those projects?
It was a fun experience. So freshman year, entrepreneurship major, and I was like, I have no ideas that I'm like working on. Like I just felt like there's a lot of people that like are like, I'm gonna be working at like I'm gonna make this company, So I started working, and when you start to think like, what's the problem that I go through like around my everyday and stuff like that, or just think of like random product, like what does the world need? A lot of ideas come up. So my first idea that I worked on was it was called cableware, and it was this whole. It's all hypothetical. Like I did not make it at all. I went close. I was close to making it,
Cool.
but I like this. It's a good story because I got to learn so much out of it. So I was in this entrepreneurship. This is another club, but it helped me. So I was a member of entrepreneurship, kind of like a engineering collaboration club, and it's called Seeds. And I went to them and I was like, I have this idea. It's basically a bracelet that works as a charger for your phone. So lightning cable and a thing and a USB. But it also has this NFC, which is like, I forgot what it stands for, but it's an NFC chip that you can put on the bracelet. And that allows you to do things like, it's kind of like how Apple Pay works. Like you just hold your thing and it pays for it. But imagine like that unlocking your door using like NFC, or like
Cool.
turning on your computer, like stuff like that. And
That's
then
cool.
like, yeah, like I was like, oh, you can even put like pictures or like data in here, like your business card or resume, so that you can go to a recruiter's phone and be like, oh, here, tap my wrist with your phone, and here's my resume. I just thought it was like paperless, like really cool. So I went ahead and made designs. I figured out like a plan and stuff like that. I was like, do people need this? I went around campus. I literally would go up to strangers and be like, hey, I'm like working on this idea. Like, do you think you can take a 5-minute survey? And I got data out of that, and then found that a lot of people liked this idea. So I taught myself how to draw, like, yeah. So I drew like the designs, and then I lived on the engineering floor my freshman year. So I remember I downloaded the engineering software because you would have to pay for it usually. But as a student, I got it for free. So I downloaded engineering software that I had no idea how to use. And I sat that whole, like it was a weekend, I sat that whole day teaching myself this 3D modeling software. And so I made that drawing that I had of the wrist bracelet, and then I made it on the computer. And then I went back to Seeds and that club, and I told them like, I want to try 3D printing this. I made the file, and then we 3D printed it. And then that was when we had this whole idea. We went to the manufacturing firm. Manufacturing firm was like, yeah, this is totally possible. Like really cool idea. And like, I was like, hey, like, let's start. And then like, I was a college student. I didn't have money. Like, so how was I supposed to get it manufactured? That was the problem. And also like I had that manufacturing like connection, and I emailed them. They were like an hour, 2 hours away off campus, and I didn't have a car at the time. So I would email them, and I remember they never got back to me on an email. So I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna put this idea to the side.
Okay.
Put that to the side, and then I had this. So this idea, artwork, so artwork is an application, so a social media platform to help freelancers or creatives find work, collaborate, and just build their portfolio. Because I found that as a photographer, dancer thing, like I would always advertise myself to other people for a client, but then I'm the one producing the service. So it's just, as a freelancer, it's hard to get a lot of jobs if you're not advertising for yourself. And I had a lot of friends that had this similar problem where they were actually dance instructors for a studio. And we were on a phone call, and they were telling me like, yeah, sometimes I'd go teach a dance and I'd absolutely lose money. And that's because the studio will charge these instructors, like let's say $30 an hour for the studio. And then the way they make money is they charge people like per entry, so $10 per entry. So if they don't get like, for example, if it's $30 for the studio for an hour, if they don't get three clients coming in paying $10 per, then after 3 clients, they're breaking even. And after that, they make profit. But if there's one person that comes in, they just lost $20. And it's an hour of their time and stuff like that. So I was trying to figure out, like, I was like, man, that sucks, man. And so I came up with this idea, and it was basically kind of like an Instagram where people, like freelancers, would produce their work and put it on their feed. And in ways, people who are clients and looking for these freelancers can look at, oh, like, I need a dance instructor for my quinceañera or something. They look on the app, and then they can find different people and look at their portfolio or resume kind of thing, and hire from there, you know. And that way, these freelancers instead of trying to get a job, they're getting notifications on their phone like, this person wants to hire you. And that was the whole idea behind it. I pitched it at a Google competition called Startup Weekend, and basically that's when a lot of people from, not even just students, it was like programmers, entrepreneurs, and businessmen, and just even engineers were coming in. And everyone in the room had an idea. We all stood in this stage, and we each had 30 seconds to pitch our ideas. Around 60, I think it was around 60 ideas were pitched. And of those 60 ideas, we all voted on an idea, like just the best idea that we had, right? So of the 60, we cut it down to 15, I think. And then from those 15, I think we cut it down even more. I think I forgot, but I remember it being like less, like maybe 18 at the end. And everyone was joining, like everyone had to join a team to work on that project for the weekend. And basically you make your, so one of my idea was picked, artwork was picked. And we had from that day until Sunday, so it was Friday, from Friday to Sunday to work on our idea, 54 hours, to make that idea kind of a reality, or like make a pitch deck out of it. And from Sunday, you have to pitch it a 5-minute presentation towards 3 like investors. So it was a really cool experience because I was a freshman at the time, and like I had a team with seniors, like 2 seniors, 2 graduates, 1 sophomore at the time, and each one had different backgrounds. Like I think 3 of them were very good at marketing. No, 4 of them was very good at marketing. 1 was very good at graphic design, and 1 was very good at comp sci, and I was the guy with the idea. And then we got really close in working on the idea for that 50+ hours. But I learned a lot of entrepreneur stuff, like marketing stuff, and these business skills that I otherwise wouldn't have known about. One good memory that I had was someone came up to me and was like, oh, like, do you know what your customer acquisition would be? And then I stood there and I was like, I don't know what that means. And then one of my team members was laughing. She was a senior. She was laughing. She was like, she answered the question, and then she was like, yeah, no, he's a freshman, like, but he has such great ideas and stuff like that. And it was just such a humbling experience, such a funny experience. And I got really close to my team, and I was so grateful for that. And we ended up placing 2nd place overall and 1st place crowd favorite, which was, as a freshman, that was like crazy.
Yeah.
Like I remember being so excited. I came home and I was like, Mom, Dad, like, look, I got an entrepreneurship award. And then like that also was like gave my parents more confidence, reassurance of me being like an entrepreneurship major, because they're very like, oh, like, I don't know, Martin, I don't know about like entrepreneurship, like, but yeah, it was so cool. If you have any opportunity to do, it's called Startup Weekend, do that. I totally recommend. Like, even if you don't even have an idea, just go in, join a team, and then work. Like, it's so fun. That, and if you want to meet like computer science people, there's also events for that. It's very similar, where they like make you work on an idea for like 50+ hours or something. But so cool. But yeah, yeah, that was
Awesome. Yeah.
two ideas that I've been working on.
Thank you so much for talking so much about yourself. You're like a sophomore, but I feel like I'm gonna aspire to like be you now. Like I need to like, because I feel
Oh
like
no.
I'm trying to like be like make sure I'm on top of everything and like take advantage of everything at my school. But like you really inspire me to like take advantage of like everything even more and to just like pursue my passions. Like so,
Yeah,
thanks.
definitely like pursuing your passions, being happy with what you do and finding meaningful work is you're set for a good life if you if you find that. And it's difficult, but it's also fulfilling when you get it. And I just had a conversation with a friend that was like, like you don't realize it yet, but you're in college right now, like, but from the perspective of outside in, like when you're in college you have so many resources, so many opportunities, and it's something to thrive off of. And I know like being in it, it's like I don't even realize until like I probably will leave, and then it's like, whoa, like I didn't realize I had that. Um, so that really opened my eyes and take advantage of like like what we have and the opportunities we get. And like one major piece of advice that someone told me was like try not to say no to anything. So like if you're given a chance to do something like maybe out of your comfort level, like just say yes and
Yeah.
then do it. You'll grow. So yeah, it's just crazy, but yeah, it's cool.
So okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. Good luck with
Of course.
everything.
Thank you. You too.